Hermitcraft Infinity. Welcome back to Hermitcraft Infinity. Alright. Well, events recent days has caused me to kind of adjust my plans a little bit. I was going to be getting into a bunch of stuff with the new Thaumcraft terminals and whatnot, and I am going to be doing that. But I have decided to put it off a little bit because of the power situation. Basically, if I want to run the quarry, the spawners, and the tree farm, and the AA system, and still be able to process ores as they come in, I need more power than that reactor I have in the quarry age is providing. So I spent a bunch of time. I set up some machines here, and I've got this machine that this export bus is auto-crafting sandstone and dumping it into this pulverizer. That's because when you pulverize sandstone, not only do you get sand and sometimes gravel, but you also occasionally get niter. And niter is an ingredient in the cryothium dust, which is needed to make gelid cryothium. And so I set this arrangement up here. This machine makes the niter. The other ingredients I have in plenty. You know, because of the blizz, I've got all the blizz powder I'm ever going to need. Take a look here. I've got 41,000 blizz powder. I've got 35,000 snowballs, so we're good there. The other ingredients I've got lots of, which I believe is, well, I can look. If I actually click in the box first. Cryothium dust is made from snowball, niter, blizz powder, and redstone. You know, the snowballs, blizz powder, and redstone I have tons of. The niter is what this whole arrangement is about making. And so I've been making a lot of cryothium dust and a lot of gelid cryothium, because this reactor I'm about to make is going to be a lot bigger. Yesterday, I took a bunch of time. Oh, great. Slimes. Ugh. And I used a Buildcraft filler to hollow out this room. And within one chunk is where I built this thing, which is the framework for the new reactor. Its internal dimensions are 9 by 9 by 20 tall. This is going to be the grandmother of all reactors, at least as far as anything I've built. I've got plenty of the reactor casing, reactor glass. I have 2 tanks with 512 buckets each of gelid cryothium. And another tank here I'm going to take with me. And we're going to head off to the quarry age. I'm going to take down the old reactor. This thing. Now, I had made it 1 block taller not too long ago to kind of beef up its power production. And you can see right now, it's maintaining itself about 76% full under its current load. But it's still, at best, only good for right around a little over 10,000 RF per tick when it's drawing max power. And that's not going to cut it. So, it's time to get this slime ball out of here, get out the wrench, and start taking things apart. Oh, blast it all. That little feature where you hit a number key and the item in that numbered slot gets swapped with whatever your mouse is over, I really wish they had never implemented that. That has caused me nothing but grief. Granted, not major industrial strength amounts of grief, but grief nonetheless. Irritation I could have lived without. Okay, not going to worry about those little bits. Instead, it's time to get up here. Open this baby up. And what I'm going to do, stand on this middle control rod here. There we go. I get out my handy dandy buckets. And let's see, let's put the tank right there. And I'm going to pick up the coolant in this reactor. Put it all in the tank. And then tear the reactor down. And get ready to set up a new reactor at the base where I just showed you. So, I'm going to take the time, and yes, I'm going to dip all this cryothium out of this one, in spite of the fact that I just made so much more. And then I'm going to tear this one down completely, and we'll get ready to get doing some stuff. Alright, old reactor is taken down, and as you can see, everything here is dark and quiet. Nothing's happening. Power is, of course, gone. I mean, there was a little bit of power buffer. These energy cells, they hold a reasonable amount of energy, but this system, as I had it set up and running, was sucking down about 1,000 RF a tick. It didn't have enough reserve to keep running for very long. And that wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for one thing that I screwed up on. See, I had, between what I took down from the old reactor and what I've got in my inventory here, I had most of what's needed to get this reactor up and running. There is one little detail, however. This reactor design requires these yellorium fuel rods. It requires 500 of them. Now, earlier, in anticipation of that, I set that many of them auto-crafting. What I didn't do was get them out before I did what I knew was going to shut the thing down. Yeah. That was just priceless. I mean, seriously, that was totally priceless. But it is possible, I do believe, to restore enough power to get this thing running, to get the system going enough to get those things out of it. And no. We need the fuel rods. There. I am going to mini-reactor this thing. I'm going to do one layer of fuel rods, control rods, and a few bits of yield gelid cryothium. Now, you wouldn't think this would do very much, and in truth, I don't expect it to do very much. What I do expect is for it to come online and provide enough power to bring the system up so that I can get the rest of the stuff out of it that I need. All right. Power tap. Don't need the access ports just yet. I need the controller. There we are. There's the controller. Go ahead and put this power tap in. It'll be the last of the ones needed. And let's see. Power conduit. Tesseract. And it's on and set and ready. Okay. Now, let's complete the multi-block in a way that I'm sure nobody really ever anticipated. Might end up having to move that power tap down one block just for this setup. We'll find out. It's not necessary for it to be awesome right now. It is simply necessary for it to work. This reactor part may not be placed in the reactor's interior. Well, it's not in the reactor's interior, you idiot. $717, 3120. $3120. What? Well, I bet you it's this. Put that there. Put the power tap down there. Get out some more energy conduit. All right. Right click on it. Right click on it again. All right, I'm going to take a few minutes and figure out what part this thing is complaining about. All right, figured it out. I still had the shell connected to this mini version of the reactor, and that's what the problem was. Okay, let's go ahead around here, and I stuck in a access port here, so go ahead and throw some of this stuff in here. Got yellorium. Bang. That's got it some fuel. Start that reactor up. And now quickly, let's get up here for when this thing should come online. It should come online. I made it a point to go around to all the tesseracts except this one and turn them off. Okay, that's right. Where's my network tool? Yeah. This thing. Okay. Pull that down, and now the system's got enough power to turn on. Great. These guys. Yellorium fuel rods. That should be all of them. All right. Now, let's make the real reactor work. All right. Now, wait a minute. Control rods. We got the fuel rods. Control rods, yeah, okay. Okay, I promise I'm going to stop derping here eventually. All right. Start her back up. Head up top side. These guys. What? Oh, reactor casing. Here, have some reactor casing. That's not enough. Have some more reactor casing. That'll do. All right. Now, I can go ahead and tear this thing down. Get my fuel rods arranged in the pattern they need to be. Start putting in my coolant. So on. Let me tear this cover off and I'll be back. Alrighty, the first layer of the coolant is in. I just finished putting in the second layer of control rods. And now I get to repeat this whole thing 19 more times. Yeah, it's going to be a while. If I was one of those people with a camera account, I'd probably set it up over there somewhere looking down on this and do a speedy up third person bit. But I don't have such things. So I'm going to get to this and just get it done. It's going to be, well, a pain is a good word. It's just repetitive. Alrighty, that took me a while, but I've got all the control rods and all of the coolant in place. And I cut it pretty fine too. Only had 9 buckets of cryotheum left. So that ended up working out okay. Now, reactor control rods. On top of each fuel rod. Hello, stop that. All right, now reactor casing everywhere else. Ah! I hate it doing that. Did not need doing that, because now I have to replace the coolant that was destroyed when that happened. Alright. Shift clicking through this. Alright. Bang! Nailed it. Alright, great. We're done. Well, we're done up there. Alright. Let's see. Ender IO power conduit. I do believe I have some more of that in here. Well, I believed wrong, didn't I? Okay. Alright, not a problem. We only need enough initially to get the system online. And that will bring us all the rest of it that we need. Alright, where is my wrench? Okay. You... Okay, this is annoying. Alright, I guess I will just get some covers out. Oh, crap. Alright. See, I didn't want those connecting to each other. Alright, that'll do. Alright, I'm going to need a bunch more conduit, probably another tesseract, but there's enough connection now to make things work. And over here, I already put in the RedNet control ports and got those configured for controlling the reactor. And here's our fuel port. Stack and a half or so should be enough to have it run long enough to get the real fuel system hooked up. Alright, this looks great. Alright, we have the reactor 6.4% full. Yeah, alright. Well, let's crank her up. And let's see, do I have access? Wireless, oh, that's right. I disconnected that stuff. Okay, we have access. Where is the yellow ender chest? Some conduit. And some covers. First up, let's hook up the fuel supply. Item conduit. Ender chest. That is the right one, right? Yes, it is. Okay. System has all the fuel it needs. Well, let me go ahead and wrench that pipe to make sure it's set correctly. Alright. From that end, we want extract always active. Over here, we want insert. Okay, fuel is inbound. Energy buffer full, and it's just barely running at 2 and 3K per tick. Great. All right. Okay, now do something about this. Let's see. Covers. Some more energy conduit. Oh, this thing isn't going to be cover friendly, is it? All right. I see what you're doing. All right, this one. I guess that doesn't matter. Yeah. I can see I'm going to have to move some of these power taps so that I can get energy piping around to all sides of the tesseract. But for now, I'll just leave it as is. The reason I'm doing it this way is because the energy conduit is capable of carrying up to 20K per tick. And this reactor is capable of producing a lot more than that. As a matter of fact, I'll link the big reactor simulator page in the description. The big reactor simulator, the plan for this reactor, according to what I'm reading here, it is capable at full power of producing 137,000 RF per tick. I think I might, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, might just have enough power to last me for quite a while. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm suspecting. Anyway, let's see, let's get our range upgrades. Get back up here and put these suckers back in. As a matter of fact, just for giggles, I want all of the range boosters. The 42 I had, and the rest of them for a total of 64. That means my wireless access now has a 528 block range. Energy use 8.21 thousand RF per tick. And how is the reactor handling that? Yeah, it's holding it. Well, let's see. Okay, power level's dropping a little. The energy buffer level is dropping as the redneck control thing is adjusting control rods to maintain power output. But this means the rods are still inserted like 98, 99%. Let's have a look here. The rods are 97% inserted, which means this thing is barely ticking over at like 3% of its capacity. This is royally fantastic. All right, we'll be back in a moment. All right, I just went around to all my tesseracts and I turned everything on. Not only is the system upstairs on, but I went to the tree farm, I started it up, I went over to the spawners and I started them up, and then I went out to my quarry and I started it going and threw down a speed 2 upgrade. And so everything is running all at the same time. Now, previously, I could get away with that for about 3 minutes before the whole system goes dark from a lack of power. we're maintaining 95 to 96% energy in the buffer. And that means the control rods are inserted that much. This thing is cranking 20k RF per tick, and it's barely running. It's barely running, and it's making 21k RF per tick. That is freaking great. I love it. Yes, I know it's going to use fuel faster, but I don't think I have a problem there. I have 53,000 Yellorium, and the quarry is coming up with more all the time. So, not a problem. I got my fuel chest and my exhaust chest hooked up. That's hooked up and working. Everything is great. This reactor is going to supply my power needs for some time to come. The next thing I'm going to have to do down here is something with these walls. This needs to be not so dark. And I don't know. If nothing else, I'll get another, I don't know how many stacks of laboratory blocks, and I'll do that bit with the wall like I did upstairs. But in the meantime, power problems crushed mercilessly. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.